I'd like to welcome all of you back to Wolfish Angling Adventures. I'd like to start off by saying I am not affiliated or endorsed by any brands in this video at the time of the recording, and the two girls in the video are paid actors. If you have any questions that I didn't go over, feel free to ask in the comments. I hope you enjoy the review. And here on the outside we have a lovely tailor-made snap system cover going all around the whole boat. See, that snaps right off, going all the way around it, and there's even a nice little groove going all the way around the outer edge there for the snaps to go into. Or you could put in a system where it goes into it, just like that. All right, now that we've went over a little bit of the cover on the boat and how that snaps in, let's go ahead and get to the boat itself. Ready to go? Ready to fish, huh? This is the Starcraft Freedom 180 Tiller Edition right here. Let's go over it spec by spec. So if you're watching this video, it's because you watched some of my other videos, or you're looking up a Starcraft Freedom 180 because you want to see what it's all about. This is a 18-foot 11-inch boat, 1 inch shy of 19. So in my state, children do not have to wear life jackets, because life jackets on the girls, life jackets on the boat girls, how much does this suck? A lot. It does, and nobody likes wearing life jackets. I mean, they advertise them, wear them, but you know, if you don't have to, it's nice. So in my state of Ohio, you do not need to wear a life jacket if the boat is over 18 foot. So we got 18-foot deep V 11-inch tiller. And we got the hole for the pump. Transducer, big 90. That is the maximum horsepower for this boat, is a 90. And I have a 9.9 kicker on there for various reasons, but the tiller, I'm a big fan of the tiller engine. Now this boat I have out on Lake Erie in 4-footers. I've taken this out twice on 2 to 4 foot waves. I would not recommend it, but we fished and we got it done. It handles 1 to 3s like a champ. So if you're looking for a big water tiller, this boat can definitely handle those 4-footers. I could, in a pinch, needing to get out, having a little bit higher, but 4-footers, it will handle it out there fishing. I would not recommend anything over 1 to 3. Now let's go over the 90 horsepower Yamaha, which I have on the boat here. Like I said, that is the maximum horsepower. I love this Yami. The fastest I've gotten this boat so far was 34.4 miles. 34.3, 34.4. I don't remember, but that's the fastest I've got it. Me, the boat fully loaded down, full tank of gas, I'm doing about 30 with 2 other big guys in the boat, a bunch of kids, doing 30 miles an hour for a tiller is pretty darn fast. So on this big tiller, it has a shifter built into the handle right here, and it has a tilt built into the handle right here that will take the engine up and down right there on the handle. So that works out really nice. It also has an RPM gauge right there that you can manually adjust RPMs up and down a little bit. This handle right here, this knob right here, is for the tension on the throttle right there. Now I will tell you that 90 horse, it's not for the faint of heart to hold on to. There's no hydraulic steering. If that was to get out of your hand while you're going fast, it's really, you're flipping. But once you get up on plane, it's easy to control. While you're going at slower speeds, you got nose up, you're kind of leaning back, holding on to it. Once you get onto plane, it's not that big of a deal, but I always wear that wrist, the automatic shut off around my hand while I'm using that also. Now, this also, 90 horse Yami also has manual trim right there. Also, this does come with a live well, and this is my first big boat with multiple holes. Never had so many hole options in my life, and I have put the boat plug in the live well hole a couple times and almost sunk us twice, but if you have never forgot the boat plug or put it in the wrong hole, you do not fish enough. Now, let's get into my 9.9 kicker engine. This one also has a trim built into the handle there. Goes up and down. And if you see the little knob up above it, that also is to tighten down the throttle. It has a little cord that goes around it, and it is a push start stop engine also. I did go with the high thrust 9.9 because I'm not looking for speed. The fastest that will push me in a fully loaded boat is 6 to 7 miles an hour depending. But I'm using that on the limited horsepower lakes, the lakes that I can't use the 90 on, the ones that are like 25, 20, 9.9 limits. And the high thrust, it gets you moving a little bit faster. You can see a little bit bigger of a prop on there. Definitely gets me up and going. It's a nice engine, haven't had any problems with it. It's a nice push start. I love having the push start. Now you may say, Carl, how do you operate that from that seat way over there? Which I was thinking about myself in the beginning. Am I going to have an extra base put in to move around to be able to maneuver that? But I'm going to show you guys what I figured out to get around that. So I was checking out a bunch of handle extensions of what I was doing, but I found one that is an articulating one. This is the Helmsmate, you see, for trolling speeds only. It is extendable. It has an extendable handle on it. You can see right there. Yep. You can make it extend to whatever length you'd like for the distance right there. So this would be come in handy for multiple applications. But it is also articulating. I can even control the throttle on the kicker from my seat. So let's go ahead and put that on here. Show you guys what I'm talking about. So you just slide that on, and then you would tighten it down. Levy, if you'd sit in that seat over there. Show everybody here. You can see right there. Look at that, huh? And the levy, go up and down with it. Yeah, and you could twist it, like I said, from over there and actually control that throttle. So that is going to be the Helmsmate. Really nice tool. You guys could look into that for many other applications. Now, another thing with these kicker motors, well, not the kicker and the main, that I really like is it has a tensioner bar on the engine right there. You can see there's a tensioner bar on that one right there also. And you see I got it tightened down all the way, but if I loosen that up, I can just move that engine right around. So that helps out with the big motor. You kind of put it about halfway so it's not pulling as hard. But another thing where that really comes into play is when I'm trolling on Lake Erie. What I'll do is, because I do have a bow mount remote control trolling motor, but I'll just go over this here really quick. So I'll get this one going about 1 mile an hour, my kicker, when I'm trolling on Erie. And you could do this on any other reservoirs, but our reservoir is so much boat traffic, I like to just keep the tiller in my hand and use the tiller as a control while I'm trolling, just so I can make quick adjustments. But I will get it going 1 mile an hour and lock that in so it doesn't turn. And that will just keep me going at a straight path 1 mile an hour, and then I'll drop down my trolling motor and use that with the cruise control to maintain the speed in the direction that I want. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the storage on this boat. It does have a large live well right here that I obviously do not have any fish in here right now. I haven't been keeping any fish, so I just threw some planer boards in there, but it does have a large live well, and it is locking, so nobody steals your walleye. And that would be controlled on the panel right here. It does have the different buttons, and it has a horn. Yeah, fuel gauge. Let's turn on the fuel gauge. It needs some fuel. Boy, these boats always eating fuel. Another thing though, these new engines, they are pretty nice though. They don't really suck down a lot of fuel. I burned more in my old 15, well, it was a 15 horsepower two-stroke than I do with these, but pretty good on fuel. But also up here, this is all hollow underneath Riley here, and we have more storage up in here. I got rod holders, some sleeves in here. And I didn't put all my sleeves on. I've been busy and just no time to organize after I'm done. But that storage goes all the way from right here cut off all the way to back here where the live well begins, so you can fit a lot of stuff in there. And we do have floor storage right there in the middle. And in this floor storage right here, which is pretty ample, I got 3 life jackets in there, a rope, I got my anchor in there, and I have a fire extinguisher down in there also. So those are all nice, easy access right there in the bottom of the boat. On this side right here, we have the rod locker. Now, this is a large rod locker here. It also has a fuel filter right there. But this rod locker, which is absolutely needs organized again, I can fit what I think I have in here. Rod sleeves are a must for rod lockers like these, or else it becomes chaotic. But this rod locker, I could fit, I think it was like 11 rods if I cleaned it out here and put rod sleeves on everything. 11 rods in here, and that goes all the way from here all the way, quick little easy access up in here, all the way up to here. And it holds my 8-foot 9-inch muskie rods just fine. Those actually come to about right here, so you could put 9-foot muskie rods in this rod locker, no problem. And up here in the front, there's another front hatch opening. I just have my 3 batteries in there for the trolling motor, because I do have a 36-volt trolling motor, so I have 3 batteries right in there. Also up here, the last little bit of storage up in here, this is just where I keep my nav light, and I also have a 4-bank battery charger in there for my starting battery, which also runs my fish finder, and the 3 trolling motor batteries, which are 36 volt. And we'll go over that with the trolling motor. I kind of wish I would have went with a 24, but hindsight's 2020. So let's go over a few things that I went ahead and added to this boat personally. Let's get into the rod holders and the track system that I put on this boat. So I went ahead with the Fulby rod holders on this boat. Let's go over why here first. On this boat, it has a track system where you can see it goes in and you can slide accessories up and down. It goes all the way up to the front. Up here on the front, there is another access point for putting accessories. And up front here also, which is just some generic lure cup holders I put on, which people really seem to like a lot. The middle person gets jealous because they don't have one. But it has a nice track system. Now with the Starcraft, which has a 60-degree angle, it was hard finding attachments for this that were not generic. There's a few generic brands that I didn't like, because you know, rod holders, you go after big fish, especially I go for muskie a lot, or steelhead, walleye, big catfish, they're gonna break. So I had to kind of come up with something myself. So these are Brocraft plates right here. Brocraft plates that will fit into there. And these are size 1/0 by 11 millimeter threads, screws to go into the millimeter aluminum. Now these Fulby rod holders, these are made in USA. They are fiber reinforced plastic. They do articulate. You can move them at whatever angle you'd like. They do have extensions, like that one right there. Levy, you want to show how you close that? So you would close it right there. And that's a tall one. Like, I wouldn't use that extension for muskie fishing, but for walleye, it's fine. I haven't had a muskie break one of these yet. The only thing that I broke one on so far was a dock. Now, if you would hold this camera for a second there, Riley. Now, one thing I do like about these is you can pull on it, doesn't come out, pull on it, doesn't come out. you have to lift these, put a hand in the front and back straight up. And this will open up, slide back down. So you can't go like that. A lot of guys have a problem. Hold that up a little bit, rather. A lot of guys have a problem on my boat because they just try to yank on them, and it doesn't work like that. It's front and back straight in a row, and it opens. Now, you could just go one-handed and go like that, but it has to be even force going up, not front, not back. But these are pretty nice. They even have a locking mechanism, a locking mechanism on them right there. Right there, the button, if you'd like to lock them in place. But I don't really worry about that, because then that's one extra. When you get a bite, oh my God, I got one, and everyone's yanking on it and they forget by the lock. So I just never leave them locked. But you can slide these up and down however you'd like. And I even went with an 8-rod spread on this boat. I have had 3 planer boards out on each side of the boat and a dipsy right down in the back. So you wouldn't think, you know, this guy's running a 8-rod spread in a tiller. You can do it in this boat. You can run an 8-rod spread. Now, there is a new system out, Cisco track systems. They just came out with a new track system for this boat. And if that was available, I probably would have went that route. But I dropped a lot of money getting these Fullbees set up, so I'm sticking with them for right now. The thing is all these track systems on all these different brands have different angles. And you can see the sloped angle on this Starcraft here. It's at a 60-degree, 58 angle, and that's not a lot was able to work with that. So that's why I ended up engineering what I did here. But the Cisco has a machined aluminum track system that will fit this right now. So that's something you might want to look into. Now let's get on to the trolling motor that I got. I went with a Minn Kota Tarova 36 volt. This is a heavy duty trolling motor. I forget how many pounds of thrust, but it moves me pretty fast. It'll get me about 3.5 miles an hour. This is heavy. This has a transducer built into the front that I will never use because I sit in the back there, and I am never going to put a fish finder up here. That is one reason I wish I would have went with a 24. But the upside of this 36 volt is I haven't run out of battery. And I should have maybe had it rigged for a lithium battery system. But beyond that, I haven't run out of battery with it. Now, this is a remote control. I don't have the foot paddle hooked up to it right there on the cord because I will never use it, because that is a remote control boat, Leviana, huh? Well, your dad has a remote control boat. How many times do you hear him talk about that?
All the time.
He's like, I got a remote control boat, huh?
He loves his remote.
So the cool thing about having this remote control is, like I said back there, I can use this to navigate around. It has features that I'll never use, but a few things that I do really like. You see that puck right there? That's a GPS locator. It will navigate my motor for me. So when I'm trolling straight line, I can just set that in a cruise control. I can set a straight line navigation. I can set it on cruise control, 2 miles an hour, and I am hands-free with the tiller, trolling on Erie, just in a straight line. And it'll maintain that straight line for me and the speed. Another thing where that comes in handy, I want to work a flat or a weed edge. But I want to keep moving because I want to fish too. So I'm not always playing with the motor. I'll set it on like a 0.2 navigation line, and it'll get me going 0.2 miles an hour, nice and slow for casting, working whatever line I want it to do. There's ways to link that to my fish finder to get that going, but I don't need all that. I just need what I explained to you. So having a remote control fish finder with cruise control, navigation, jogging, I mean, that is just fantastic. Make sure you got extra batteries, because we ran out of batteries one time up there on Erie, and Ray had to go to the dollar store in Cleveland and get some more, and it's no good running out of batteries. Oh, that's just a happy little, I don't know, something. So I did add in a 6-rod rod holder onto this boat right here. That is aluminum. They have the stainless steel ones that cost you a fortune. I really couldn't tell you what brand that is, but just bolted in a 6-rod because I troll with 6 rods mainly. It just helps moving around spot to spot or getting 6 rods rigged up, because 6 rods is kind of what I'm normally trolling with. That 8-rod spread is very calm water getting that set up. But so that is a really nice rod holder, looks really good. Got that posted up onto there. So the fish finder I ended up going on with this boat is a Helix 10 Hummingbird, and I really enjoy this Helix 10 Hummingbird. It has the Mega Side Imaging Plus. Now, it's got mapping. It's not the best mapping, but it's mapping. It's the first mapping I've ever had. It helps me follow contours and depths on the reservoirs. When I'm trolling around or I want to work certain breaks, it's better than the suction cup, the little Garmin ones I've dealt with my whole life. And it has the side imaging, which I really like for scanning the bottom. I can see tires, refrigerators, boats, schools of fish, and learning to distinguish what the different schools of fish are. Have you girls ever looked at your dad's side imaging on there? And have you seen the fish down there and rocks and stuff?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
Isn't it kind of cool watching that? And you can actually see what's down there. The down imaging, I played around with a little bit. I prefer the regular old chirp mode on that. And it's got a nice big 10-inch screen. It's got a bunch of different settings. That's all I need. I know a lot of guys are getting the forward-facing sonar, and I thought about it when I got this boat, going ahead and getting that, but this isn't going to be a forward-facing sonar discussion video, but it's not for me. I think it would take away some of the thrill and some of the reasons why I fish. So it's not for me. Maybe one day I'll get one to play around with, but as for now, it's not for me. So that is going to be the Starcraft Freedom 180 tiller. I absolutely love this boat. I have a fantastic time on this boat. I mean, it's wonderful. I love everything about it except for the price tag. Which, you want to talk about price tag on this? All the basic bones lay out with everything that you see here, except for my few additions. Trolling motor would be included, but like the fish finder, the few other things I've included, you're looking at $38,000, which is a lot of money to me. I'm just a blue-collar truck driver. But I mean, it's not as much as those $100,000 Rangers and boats everybody else is getting. So $38,000. I got a big enough boat I can get out on the Great Lakes, or I can take it to reservoirs or rivers. It's aluminum, which I like. You can beat it up a little bit more. Cuts the water fine. Plenty of room. Girls, if you wanted to go out and go camping on this, could you girls roll out a mat and just sleep in this boat out on the lake if you wanted? I mean, look at all that room in there, huh? Maybe you could jump around in there. I fit 3 musky guys casting in this boat, no problem. I've had 4 people in this boat jigging, jigging for saw guy, casting. Someone sitting on a cooler at that point. But it's a really nice boat. I picked this up at Erie Marine Sales in Sheffield, Ohio. Only a few places. There's one other place in Southern Ohio somewhere that carries this model boat. This would be comparable with the Alaskan Lund series, but at a much more affordable price. I was originally actually looking at a Lund, it's a lot cheaper, a Lund SSV18, but the Lund boat dealer up in here, they wouldn't do it for me. Lund said they would. It was a whole fiasco. And then I started looking at some Mod Vs, and then I ended up just going with this model so I could take this out on the Great Lakes, because on the Lund SSV18 you're not doing that. On the Mod V you're not really doing that. But on this boat I'm getting out there on some big water, I'm getting out on some skinny water, and I'm having a blast. And nice getting out on the boat, isn't it, girls?
Yeah.
So that's going to be it for the boat review. You girls got anything to say?
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
So that'll be all. Thanks everybody. Stay tuned. We got some more muskie action coming up here because September's coming. I'll be muskie fishing. And we got the fall brawl coming. These girls might enter the fall brawl with their dad this year. We're trying to talk them into it, but we'll see how it goes. So make sure you guys are getting out there in the nature, on the water enough yourself, putting the phones down and turning off the lights, getting away from the granite countertops and getting out there and getting some mud on you. A little vitamin D. See ya.